Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome back to ICBM Escalation Part 3. My sub-Saharan Africa is now just called Africa. It's very straightforward, you don't have to do the whole sub-Saharan anymore, it's just Africa. Oh, and it's the Middle East. I also took them over. So the AI playing the Middle East has just been completely decimated. And now there used to be a little place called Central/South Asia. We remodeled the place, we did a complete redecoration, some of it slightly glowy, we have some highlights here at Hyderabad, and overall it's just Europe, East Asia and myself carving up the area. However, that's not the point of this video, because the United States has decided to get a little aggressive. Not only are they starting to take over more territory, but they're also starting to bomb my cities. And that is something I don't appreciate. Lagos hit 690,000 dead. We have nuclear threats. It could have come from South America, it could have come from North America, but North America has more points. So North America deserves some attention. So we're gonna go to the war room. My origin of strike is missile silos. We're gonna hit just North America, and we're just gonna hit their cities. I don't really care for any of their strike assets right now. I just want to make sure that they get taken down a peg. If I press the button, we're going to start launching nukes at all sorts of targets. Of course, they're higher value cities first, and unfortunately we can't seemingly reach very far. Washington's going to get a few times, Philadelphia, but what I really want is, you know, a bit more oomph, a bit more impact. Right now, though, I don't think my silos can quite get there. So, this means we're going to have to research new missiles, but since I'm only in the early internet age, which is about halfway through the tech tree, you can go all the way up to the future at tier 10. This means that we're a little bit ways off from that. So I'm first researching MARVs, maneuverable re-entry vehicles, and these will then lead to MIRVs, multiple independent targetable re-entry vehicles, or MIRVs. So they're basically a sort of cluster warhead that you can each give a separate target to. This is not so much that I am worrying about interceptors shooting down my ICBMs, it's more so that there might be a bit of a problem with doing enough city damage. Whereas a MIRV with 3 tactical, smaller tactical weapons dealing damage to a city, you know, it just kind of levels the place. This is increasing the accuracy, it's not really what I need. I just need more range. And with weapons of mass destruction, I don't think that this tech tree is really going to help me that much. Nevertheless, it is time for Plan Beta. It is time to level the United States. So at this point, the AI is going to start coordinating all missile launches, making sure that these missiles arrive at the same time. And that means the United States is going to get a little bit of a greeting card from Africa. And they now have 409 points. And now they don't. Now they have 329. Unfortunately, I don't believe I have enough reloads, so this was just sending a message to the United States, and I think the message was received, but seeing as they have still 90% of the population and their research, productivity and espionage are looking very healthy, we'll have to hit them again. So to that end, I'll probably have to reload my missiles. I'm still building another silo, but after that, I think it's time to start building the bigger stuff. Tier 3, this is the Megaton Light ICBM. Just 1 megaton, you know, it's a bit like a firecracker. It'll definitely wake somebody up, but we're gonna have to think a little bigger than that. So let's reload a couple of these things. I think about 20 ought to do it, so that's gonna take another 20 minutes or so. What's happening in the meanwhile? Ah, there's another silo, very nice. What's happening in the meanwhile? Well, my armies are just kind of marching through here, taking over another bit of territory. Or at least that's the plan. Oh, sorry, they just did. They just did. And that was the notification that I got. So this means I now have control of this. I'm not sure at this point if Delhi is worth taking over, because it's, got decimated. As for my northeastern ally, East Asia, they're getting a little nuke happy. And they're paying a price for it. Because at this point... Oh, hold on. They broke the alliance? Really? And they're now at war with me. Oh, boy. That's not a very good thing to do. Not when I have this many armies sitting this close to your territory. Because I'm just going to march in and take the place over. We do need to get some troops to Herat over there. This army is just going to march its way over there, and we'll airdrop the army over at Herat. Central South Asia still has a bit of territory there, but, like, they got 30% of the population left. As for myself, I have been growing and taking over more and more territory, so contrary to what you might expect from a game talking about nuclear devastation, I actually have more population than I started with. I have 226% population, which I think is nice, because it does provide a bit of a buffer. I mean, people will die, yes, that's pretty much a given. The real question is how many, and if it's up to me, well, ideally not too many. Oh, these only take 20 seconds or so. Oh, never mind then. We'll be reloading these weapons very, very shortly. Very nice. Weapon productivity is still not great. We're still at 40%, but as you can see, the global pollution, that consistently goes up as we are very hard at work just destroying the world. Unfortunately, I think the world at large might be the biggest casualty at the moment. As for my Air Force, I haven't really done much with that at all. They haven't exactly been useful, it's just been army divisions. I want to see just how far I can push this whole army system. And, well, I mean, I started out with Sub-Saharan Africa. I started out with this being... Oh, who did that? Sneaky, sneaky SSBN. Look, if you want to go fishing, we're going to go fishing, but you might not like the outcome. Right? Because you have nukes, but I have them too. Attack the SSBN. I could have sent the destroyers to do that, but never mind. As for my deterrence strategy, / defenses, there aren't any. I am mostly, boom, mostly just, just attacking with armies, and now a little bit with nukes. But as you can see, the poor city of Lagos is just getting hit and hit and hit, and there's nothing defending the place. I do have some SAM sites. I still have my old security checkpoints in the middle of Africa, but the SAM sites are mostly here. And even if they would be down here, they don't stop an incoming missile attack. Anyway, if South America is giving me attitude, we're going to have to do a little bit of an attitude adjustment. So let's get the missile silos ready. Let's target them on South America. And let's say cities are a secondary priority right now. I want to have a hit at their missile silos. I'm going to hit their ICBM launch pads. And I want to make sure that their ICBM TEL vehicles are gone. This is basically a mobile vehicle launching an ICBM, and this is your standard medium-range ballistic missile. So these first, and then everything else. Unfortunately, I don't know anything about them. I have no intel. Like, I can see one army base and an army division, and that's it. Maybe it's time to start scouting the place out. A satellite, what's that? I've never actually researched one. Let's get that researched first, so we can disarm South America in a slightly aggressive fashion, and after that we can still go after their cities and take them down a peg. As for the territory here, are you guys loaded up yet? Nope, you're not. Come on, people, get to the army base. It's not hard, just get in there. Get in the base, thank you. Okay, you are going to drop off the people at Herat. And I know that there aren't any hostiles around, because almost all the armies that were here have already been eliminated, so I don't have to worry about that. As for Central Asia, that's quite a large place, so I will need armies to help out here as well. When the ICBMs are getting ready and finished, I need another army base so that I can start, well, airlifting my people very quickly. We need to go all the way over to Bishkek over there. And once we're there, we're going to just occupy the place. Cool. Making progress. Very nice. Are all my missile silos reloaded yet? No, not all of them. We do need a few more. Yeah, we could build 5 more warheads, but I don't really need a whole lot. South America and Europe? Hold on. South America is my enemy, and Europe is supposedly my ally. Supposedly. And now they're in bed with South America. What has the world come to? Yeah, this place has already been hit quite badly. Okay, we need spy sats first. I need to start seeing what's going on before I'm able to make any further plans. Spy satellites have been researched, but before I'm able to launch those, I first have to build a space center. This is new in ICBM Escalation. You have to build one of these sites. And then, if you want to actually hear what the satellite has to say, you have to build a satellite relay center. These can fortunately be built multiple times, because, well, people might want to target them, either with missiles or with special forces incursions. And only after you've built the space center, you can start building the spy sats. So this is going to be the bit of the production queue. It's going to only take a few minutes and we should be done. By that time, the MIRVs are also coming along, which is nice. What I can do further, well, like I can toss an EMP into the air. EMP weapons, they contain certain enemy, they will stun certain enemy units which don't have electrical protection. And if you want to shut down a city's production, this is what you use. Some weapons also require precise targeting, such as precision weapons. Those can no longer be used if they've been stunned by the EMP. It's not a weapon that I think is terribly useful, but I guess it can help. Let's queue up the the rapid recycling plutonium enrichment. Goodbye monetization. YouTube's gonna love this series. Just the amount of terms that are probably on a watch list somewhere with this game that you have to say on a video are a bit high for this one. Alright, let's have a move. Let's see what we can find here. This is not a hostile carrier. I did go to a peace treaty / ceasefire with the East Asian people over here. And Central / South Asia still has territory over there. I'm not too sure I want it, because it would be cut off from the rest of my territory. So I'm not that interested in that bit of territory. There we go. Space Center is ready. Next up is the Space Relay. Then we're going to toss a couple of spy sats up in the air. Spy sats can and potentially will get shot down if people have the technology and the equipment to do that. You can load up a missile silo with an ASAT, so an anti-satellite weapon, and that will shoot down a satellite if it happens to fly over the satellite or over the missile site. However, when researching, you can go with counter systems. You have advanced ASAT weapons, which has the satellite-fired ASAT, so you can also shoot satellites from other satellites. And I believe that there are also ways to defend against other satellites. You got the laser defense satellites, shoot down enemy warheads, and ASAT weapons in space. So with this, you can kind of build, well, not an impenetrable satellite system, but you can definitely get a very good view of the Earth. However, this is very high-tech stuff. It's going to cost me an hour and 12 minutes if I want to research that. What I do want to get after is electrical optical data linked satellites, because it increases the observation range. Also allows spy satellites to identify naval assets, because apparently they couldn't do that before. This is where the ASATs are, nuclear anti-satellite weapons. You also have early warning satellites, so you get a bit more detection capabilities as to where nukes, when nukes start flying. So the spy satellites tell you, hey, there's a silo there. This thing tells you this silo is now actually launching something. But again, it only works if you actually have something in the area. If you have your own satellite flying over Australia and the US decides to start launching the ICBMs, you won't actually detect it. So that's a little bit about SATs and ASATs. First spy sat up in 50 seconds. I believe I'm not at war with the Russians. No, I'm not at war with the Russians. Well, that's one less faction to worry about. As for South America, I'm not so sure what they're actually doing. Who are they fighting? Central America and Europe and Russia and Sub-Saharan Africa. So the only ally that they might have? Middle East, North Africa. Right. Hold on. SAM site destroyed. There's Spec Ops teams. There's a sneaky attack submarine here. Sneaky bastard. I'm a little busy building sats. I will queue up a destroyer because that thing has to get dealt with. Because that will also... Well, at this point I know that I've taken it out, but that will also vomit out Special Forces troops. If you let them. I don't really believe I have any assets which can currently engage that. I mean, yes, I could toss a nuke on top of it and that will shut it down, but that's a bit much. You don't have to necessarily resort to those measures. Alright, spy sats. Jesus, you cannot see anything, can you? Let's fly over... like here. And another one on a slightly different trajectory. So that I can ideally cover a bit more of of South America. But I'm gonna need a lot of satellites or a heck of a lot better tech. Because this is just inadequate. I just can't see a whole lot. Now I can see about half the country when those satellites fly over. And if I detect missile silos, that's going to be GG for South America. Because that is immediately going to get shut down. There's the satellites. Okay, here we go. What are we going to see? Nothing? More nothing? What? Ah. Ballistic missile sites. It's just... Yeah, it might sound a little... a little sarcastic, but they're just ballistic missiles. Which means that they're not terribly threatening to me right now. Doesn't mean I can just let them go uninvited for an attack, but at the moment I don't really think that I strictly needed to kill it. Not right now. There's an army division, and that's about it, isn't it? As a bonus, we're also getting some intel on North America, which apparently has decided that just southeast of Ottawa is a very good place for a coastal missile battery. Okay. The AI also places security checkpoints at weird locations. I'm not sure why, but they just decide to plunk down these checkpoints seemingly everywhere. This is something that I would very much recommend the devs to check on, because they plunk down a lot of these things. And it's possible that they want to have these things defending strategic sites. Like, for example, in my case, I really do not want to have them walk into the research center and blow that up, because that's pretty expensive. But it is something that the AI seemingly doesn't really know what to do with. Like, they kind of use them, but in a very sort of trigger-happy way. They just deploy them everywhere. Is that sub still here? Go have a look. Might still be around. Alright, anyway, I'm not really detecting critical threats from South America. So that means we can just hit South America as is. As for better weaponry, yeah, we don't really have any. We're just still at that megaton light ICBM. Oh, actually, no. We also got the 10 megatons. Yes, that'll definitely make a bit more noise and wake some people up. As for the MIRVs, I guess we don't have those yet? Where are my MIRVs at? Yeah, we're still researching the MIRVs. It's in the queue, but I decided to speed this up to get more warheads. Alright, let's go. With the world reaching the 50% pollution threshold, we're now in the endgame, so it's 20 minutes to finish the game, one way or another. Unfortunately, I did make a slight mistake in my planning. I have a couple of ICBMs ready, but they're only those lightweight megaton ICBMs. So with those, I'm going to not engage cities. I'm going to go and do something else. I'm going to strike all high-value weapon systems. So we're going to make sure that nobody is going to be able to strike me. This means the SRBM TEL vehicles, the ICBM launch pads, the missile silos. Ideally an SSBN if you find one, but the chances for that are fairly low. As for the rest, not very high priority. I can go for research sites, sure, but the chance of getting through to those, not very good. Include enemies. Yes, I would recommend that. We're going to go for North America. Basically everybody but Europe, I think, and Russia are fair game. There you go. Exclude allies. So Russia, East Asia. I have a truce with East Asia, but they do have a ton of points. So they are fair game in that sense. Asia Pacific. Central Southeast Asia. I'm going to ignore them because they're very low on points anyway. North America is definitely fair game, so let's leave Central America and that. Okay. That is going to be Plan Delta. And when Plan Delta launches, we're apparently just hitting one site. Really? That's the only one that's in the game? So what are you people using? Because there's a lot of nukes being thrown around. It's just that nobody apparently is eager to go for the bigger ones. Or rather, the world hasn't been at peace long enough to try and research better gear. That's kind of the deal here. Okay, fine. Execute Plan Delta. Eliminate that silo. I'm not sure which missile silo is going to get assigned. But I don't really care so long as it goes down. Can we find the missile? There it is. This silo just launched a nuke. It's a lightweight megaton ICBM. Don't worry about it. It might leave a bit of a crater, but a bit of sand in it, you can still perfectly walk on it. And the target was over there. There's the missile silo. Oh, sorry, there's another missile silo. These guys do apparently have interceptors in the form of SAM sites, but of course that'll not quite cut it. The other one is also getting targeted by one of our easternmost silos. Yeah, this one. It's going to take a little bit of time to reload the silo. The other ones are mostly on the western side of Africa, targeting both South America and North America. But I'm really waiting for those 10 megaton ICBMs to be fully ready. Production efficiency is looking pretty good. We're at 67%. Unfortunately, the world is quite literally running out of time before this place becomes a nuclear wasteland. Now, those satellites that I was launching at South America have been very kind in detecting all sorts of valuable targets, especially figuring out which targets still have decent value. Most of them are, especially with the nuke that I have right now, fairly low points. Like, they're not that interesting to strike, which is a bit sad, but okay, we'll just have to make do with it. I still haven't researched the MIRVs, so I guess we're just going to be launching tier 3s. The highest tier that we can launch, if we would develop that more, is going to be pure fusion weapons. You're looking at a heavy 100 million kiloton fusion bomb. Jesus. Or a 5 megaton SLBM. Holy crap. Okay. They produce a comparatively less fallout than other nuclear weapons and have unmatched raw destructive potential. Also upgrades all tactical nuclear weapons to cleaner, less polluting fusion weapons, which can be used with greater impunity. Oh, cool. We won't destroy the world as quickly. Or rather, we won't pollute it as quickly, but I can pretty much expect to have all sorts of devastating effects happen nonetheless. Alright, let's fast forward to the high-power rocket design completion. Missile silos upgraded. So now I can launch these 10 megaton ICBMs. So that's 10 times the punch. And yeah, let's strike South America first, shall we? This is going to be a hefty blow to South America. They're currently on 392 points. But by the time that all of this stuff hits, we might start seeing them go down to about 300 points. And potentially less than that, because these are big, big warheads. Take no prisoners and immediately just destroy a city, or at least a large portion of it. They do seemingly have jamming vehicles, and surprisingly I'm not really seeing any kind of ballistic defense. Well, surprisingly, I mean, I don't have any, but I'm not so sure what their excuse is. The research is okay, the production capability is okay. Yes, they lost a little bit of our population, but the rest of it should be fine. They're about to lose a bit more of their population, though. They're currently on 69.6 million. And now they're not. Now they're on 51. So that was fairly destructive. That was South America. Let's target North America next. Which apparently we only have 2 weapons for? Crap, we're still building a whole lot of those megatons. Fine. We're going to shift everything into construction now. I want to start getting this end stage done, so we need a few more of these weapons. Let's speed through that. I do like the timed demolition. So you just hit everything at the same time. It just makes a bit more of an impact, I feel. Whereas even right now, it's not really a requirement, because you just decimate them. Oh, the East Asians want war. Okay, fine. change the plan. We're going after East Asia. Cities only, silos, time destruction, synchronize the attack, auto-build the warhead, select the best config. Check. So that was plan... Is that plan Bravo? Sorry, Beta? Yes. Plan Beta. There you go. I still don't really have enough missiles. And this area looks a bit more defended. ABM sites. Got the mid-course ones. So they'll try to intercept the missiles at high altitude. Okay, not that big of a deal. Let's get a few more missiles ready. And it's only 13 minutes to finish, so I better hurry up. I'm still seeing quite a lot of those out of ammo icons. Now we're getting there. We still need 2 more. 1 more. And it's go time. Execute plan beta. Nuclear threat detected. Dude, I am the nuclear threat. East Asia has a population of 233 million. Holy crap. Their production capabilities are, well, almost untouched, even though their population has dwindled. But it might be a slight misrepresentation because they did take territory. And with that, yes, they still have more population, but it might be arguably less than what they started with. Here come all the nukes. Currently just transiting. I'm gonna cancel the plan. Population, 231 million. But wait for it. Boom. 184 million. Yeah, that knocked them down a peg. Surprisingly, didn't knock down their score that much. They went from 1,000 something to 873. So, yeah, it's okay. But, I suppose I've seen better. Unfortunately, once again, we're kind of out of missiles. I'll just keep the plan running. Doesn't need to be a timed demolition anymore. Don't need to synchronize it, just launch it when you have it. Because we are 10 minutes out. And they don't really have any defensive capabilities anyway. As for Europe, they've been a very staunch ally. They have apparently done quite a bit of damage themselves. Considering the fact that they're sitting on a very comfortable 961 point score. So they're doing well. What they're working on, I don't know. They're apparently working on, what's that, dipping sonar? Naval tech. Yeah, they're working on improved sonar. If you're working on improved sonar at this point of the game, either you're very concerned about SSBNs, or you're kind of making a mistake when it comes to your priorities. Anyway, overall, in these last couple minutes, I'd say the AI in this game needs a lot more teeth than it's currently getting. And what you've been seeing in this little 3-parter is both, is the medium AI. So they're not terribly good. But I have also played a multiplayer game with a couple of friends where we tested out against hard AI. The hard AI initially used quite a few armies, especially to push back. Like, we pushed in with 3 armies or so, and they came in with 6 or 7. So that pushed us right back out. And after that, they just kind of lost the plot, and they didn't really do a whole lot else. So I'm not sure exactly what to make of the AI, but I would say that they need a bit more work. Because right now they're a bit of a pushover, really. They just don't do that much. And you can see it here too, like South America, maybe they've been hit really bad, but they don't have anything. And yes, the AI does conquer territory. I have seen them do that. But when you see just how much stuff I have left in my territory, I just kept strategically pushing for territory and just gobbled up more and more and more and more. And I'm not seeing the AI do that. So that's something else I would like to see changed. As for performance, I'm running this on a pretty powerful system. It's a Ryzen 9 5900X CPU. I think GPU is not very important in a game like this. And I'm definitely seeing some stuttering. In multiplayer it was even worse, so that is something that I also gave as feedback to the developer, saying, hey, the game runs pretty poorly. Because once we started doing multiplayer and we actually had things getting conquered, like territories getting conquered, the game froze for a second, sometimes 2 seconds, and then continued again when a territory switched hands. So when the game froze, we went, somebody conquered something. And that was always the case. So again, I hope that that sort of stuff is going to get resolved before its launch in November. As for options on how to play, like, you have so many ways to play this game. You can go very hard on naval and just start harassing things from the offshore platforms, be they just missile-armed warships or SSBNs with missiles. You also have SSGNs with cruise missiles. You have a lot of options. You can also decide that to be a bit more standoffish with aircraft and potentially smart weapons attached to those aircraft. You can go heavy on electronic warfare, but I'd say this is more of a support measure rather than an actual offensive axis. Ground forces, as you might have seen, and I'm only halfway through the tree, are very powerful. Especially against the AI. Against players, maybe not as much. But they're just very, very strong. You just keep pushing. You just keep pushing, you take over territory, and you snowball your way to success. Ballistic missiles are pretty much the traditional way to play, I'd say. Just build these and nuke the shit out of your opponents. But they can get detected. They can get nuked out of existence, or just bombed out of existence, or, I don't know, have an army dropped on top of them. You have plenty of options in this game. I might do another run with naval tech, but do let me know down below in the comments what you would like to see. What sort of playthrough would you like to see? I'm probably going to go for naval. And if you have any other options or any other questions, by all means, let me know down below. Alright, let's skip to the end. So here we are. I was only dropping 108 warheads, and if you look at the rest of the population, that's actually on the lower end, with the exception of Middle East and North Africa. But then again, they never really got around to building their own nukes because they got conquered so fast. I have a higher remained percentage than I started out with. As in, I conquered so much territory that yes, I got a bunch of nukes at me, but it didn't really matter. Middle East and North Africa surrendered because they didn't have any territory left, and I thought I did the same to Central South Asia, but apparently not. They just ended up with a very bad score. As for myself, like, I'm at the score of, like, I think if you add everything up, I still have a higher score than they do. I think that needs to change. If you want to get such a high score, you... actually, no, let me rephrase that. I think you got too high of a score. It is too easy to get a score like this. And maybe at a harder difficulty, it becomes less of such an easy feat. But it is something that needs to get changed. As for your suggestions, well, post those down in the comments. What else do you think we should add to the game, or maybe subtract from the game? Let me know down below in the comments, and I might see you around on the nuclear battlefield.